slide, I've tried to show you how you can use your own knowledge a second time with a source to make your comments about the provenance better. So I've tried to colour code here. I'm getting technological in my old age. So to start off with, following my own advice, I've used the words of the question in blue to open up my paragraph. So source B challenges the view that suffering in Ireland was a major consideration in Peel's decision to repeal the Corn Laws. Then I've gone in with a quote from the source, and I've kind of just briefly introduced that. So in B, Peel states, with regard to repeal, that the experience of the last 4 years is decisively in favour of that course. And then own knowledge, Peel's referring to the success of his policy of free trade. I should have put the date in there, I'm sorry, 1842, which removed or reduced duties on over 1,000 articles. It was therefore logical to extend this approach to the import of corn. Provenance, source B is useful as it's a speech from Peel to his cabinet, so it's authoritative and gives an insight into Peel's own political reasoning. Own knowledge, however, knowing Peel's relationship with his cabinet and many Tories' commitment to the protection of agricultural interests, Peel may not have been truthful. Okay, and then a short return to content, he points out that he wishes to repeal independent of present circumstances, thus rejecting the impact of the famine. And then I'd go on and I'd do another source that challenges the idea that repeal was just about Ireland. So source D would be an obvious one, wouldn't it, to kind of tag on to the end of that. So you can see that rather than just saying, oh, it's useful because it's a speech from Peel, I've actually tried to delve more deeply into the provenance. That might be true. It is a speech from Peel and he was the Prime Minister, but I still don't necessarily believe him because he's trying to persuade a cabinet who I know from my own knowledge would have been reticent to accept that policy. So now it's your turn. So using that as an example, choose a source other than source B, of course, and write a short paragraph of analysis of a different source. So maybe have a go at D, I've just mentioned. Follow my structure and try to apply some own knowledge to the provenance this time. And for those of you whose contextual knowledge is not where it should be, use your textbook if you need to. So you've got your class notes, you've got your info sheets, but because I'm nice, I've actually put down for you there the pages in your orange Pitt-Peel textbook, and you've got your electronic copy as well, where you can find the information that might be useful. So it's worth just having a look at your textbook, just having a little reread, reminding yourself, and there's some nice little statistics there that you can drop in, and it's just going to make your answer much more analytical and much sharper. So pause and go off and do your improving your analysis of a source. And remember to, kind of look at the previous slide to see the structure and how to do that. Okay, and when you've done that, you can hit play and we'll go on to the last slide. Okay, so hopefully you've done that little bit of practice of analysing. And final thing, and this is not for everybody, it's just for those of you, I did ask you to just highlight your opening and end of each paragraph to make sure that you were absolutely tightly focused on that question. So for those of you that have spotted a gap where you perhaps didn't have a clear mini conclusion which summed up what those sources suggest about Peel's motives for repeal, Ireland or not, and also sums up the strength of the evidence on that particular side of the argument. So if you found that you hadn't done that, that's another thing that I'd like you to do, please, just to brush up that piece of source work. So group the sources as a set. Vast majority of you've done that. Comment on the overall quality of the sources on that side. So this is not the main conclusion, this is just a mini conclusion. Do they fit in with your own knowledge about Peel's economics policies? And just, checking that each paragraph should end with a mini conclusion that refers back to the question. Okay, and if you've not done that this time, please can you add that in? So that concludes this short lesson. It was just really to get you to go back and focus on your technique and the source work that you've been working on. So hopefully that's helpful. As you know, I've been uploading lessons on the poor laws and poverty. I'm going to carry on uploading lessons for you on that topic. So social reform in the age of Peel, and the idea is that we'll be working towards another sources paper, which of course I'll set you on Go for Schools. You'll have to have an electronic version of it, and as always you can email me in your submission for that. So hope everybody's okay. You know my email address, so do ask and do get in touch if you've got any questions. Thank you for listening.